鋁合金車架、倒立前叉、彩色熒幕。彩色熒幕循跡系統。今日好開心可以邀請到呢一位職業級嘅車手去教我揸呢部 Aprilia RS457嘅入門級跑車啊！佢就係阿 Mark 啦。
Sitting on this motorcycle gives me fond memories of when I was racing in the British Championship on Aprilia RS4. So the evolution of racing gives it this pedigree of this bike. The technology would make it a really nice bike as well. So Christy, what do you think the most, after riding the entry-level bikes, what's the most important part?
For me, of course, it's how it's low. You can see, but most important, I think, is when I ride on the bike, my both feet can touch the ground. It can make me feel confident when I ride the bike, and it won't make me feel pressure.
So Christy, what is your overall impression of the new Aprilia 457?
So at first I thought the bike is 457cc. I thought it's gonna be heavy, but after I tried, well, it's actually quite light, so I can easily handle the bike.
What I saw, it was very easy for you to learn the bike.
Yes.
I noticed almost immediately it looked like you were a little bit comfortable, which is nice for a beginner rider. That's really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Then how about you? What do you think about the bike?
Yeah, it's very compact. It feels nice in my hands when I ride. It allows me to have much more control and maneuverability on the bike. And I found the power delivery to be really good too, very smooth, very accurate, and the electronic drive-by-wire was working really well for me. But I particularly like the quick shifter. The gearbox is really, really nice.
And also it's my first time to try the quick shifter.
Your first time?
Yes.
Oh.
So I think it's a new experience for me.
Yeah.
So when accelerating, I just kept the throttle open. I simply tap on the quick shifter and then it's just allowed to upshift.
It's like being on the race motorcycle. But also, importantly, this bike standard is the slipper clutch. So when you go down the gear, it's much easier. It doesn't lock up the rear wheel. So I think this can help the entry rider.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's more stable.
Yeah, absolutely, more stable. For me, this is something that I'm used to racing with this type of technology, so I think that was helping you.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. We're back in a nice full air-conditioned unit. I'd love to show you more features about the new Aprilia 457. For me, number one, I want to show you the aluminium frame. Normally they are a tubular steel frame, but with the aluminium frame it comes with a pivotless design. So the aluminium frame with the swing arm makes the bike a lot lighter, it's more rigid, and it helps you ride the motorcycle through the turns with more stability. So I think it did, right?
Yes.
So you have a nice aluminium frame, it comes with an adjustable front fork, but importantly you can actually adjust the preload. The same as well for the rear shock. You can try some various settings. It changes how much load is set on the spring based on your weight and based on your skill level. But it enables it to suit your body weight, which can make you more comfortable, more stable. You can play around, maneuver.
So I can feel it, it's really light.
Yeah. This bike is 159 kilos, which is a very, very light. So that's what makes it nice and light and easy to ride when you're turning the bike through the corners of Hong Kong.
So even though it's a sport bike, but the handlebar is more wider, so I think it's easy to handle and easy to turn for me to drive in Hong Kong.
With a little bit wider handlebar, I think going through the mountains, the twisty road, to be a bit more relaxed.
Mark, just now you said this bike has 47 horsepower. How can I handle this?
This bike, and it reaches a top speed of 195 kilometers. It's quite fast.
Yes.
For the throttle and for the power, there is 3 modes. You can change from the full performance mode of sport to eco or rain, and that will let you control the power. I would always suggest a slower setting first. So use the rain setting and you build your way up. And then you can always switch to the eco mode, which gives you more power, and your full performance mode or sport. Also, so ATC, Aprilia traction control, when you open the throttle, it can reduce the spinning of the tyre and the sliding of the tyre by using the traction control. And then also, when you're shifting down, the slipper clutch helps you to then not have to worry about any anti-locking effect of the rear wheel. So as long as it's a performance and it's also a safety feature as well. Yeah. For me, this bike is also really nice because I like the clutch to be really light. So it's not heavy on my finger, but also I can control it easy in some situation.
So Mark, I've noticed that the brake system is bigger than my bike.
Yeah, so most of these bikes in the small sports bike range are only 2-pot. Also, you have a bigger disc, so it's the same as the very big sports bike. It helps it stop faster, but it also helps heat disperse better when you're braking, so more consistent braking. So as a feature on this motorcycle, there is ABS fitted on the front and ABS fitted on the back.
How come some riders said ABS is not useful?
Well, ABS I think is actually quite handy. It's quite a useful, especially for beginner riders, especially on the street when it's a little bit wet, a little bit damp. So that can help you reduce the locking effect of the front wheel or the rear wheel. Firstly, you may have noticed there's some difference in these motorcycles because there are some additional options on. So you've noticed the bike that I've rode has a higher windshield.
What is the benefit of using the higher windshield?
And you don't have to lean down so far. You can be a little bit more sporty and have the coverage and the wind flow and not disturbing any turbulence when you're riding, especially around the helmet. So it's more stable. Also, we have a single seat option. So it's a much more sleek design. Now that lets you take away the passenger seat as an additional option, and you don't need to carry the passenger. Aprilia have made an optional seat design. With the lower seat, no problem for you to put the feet on the ground.
Yes.
But now we go back to the standard seat and you can feel the difference.
So obviously this one is higher.
One other really neat feature, LED multimedia function display. So you can connect your phone, you can have incoming calls, listen to the music, but importantly, you can look at all the old information from your past riding. I think Aprilia have done a really nice job as a blend to understand the challenges for entry-level riders. As a small sports bike, I know I'll be very happy to ride around the streets of Hong Kong. Yeah, looking forward to be able to have the opportunity to ride this bike again.